Welcome to Texas Highway Tutorial 125. In this tutorial, we'll investigate how manual control phase groups works in the MaxTime controller, and maybe a couple of the applications where this could be handy. The manual control phase groups is a standard feature in MaxTime. It's underneath the controller, it's down near the middle, and basically what it is we can define inputs that will shut down the running phases and apply a hold to the phases that are defined in the phase groups. It's a very simple operation. We can often use this for green band progression and other applications. When we click on it, you'll notice that we've got 8 different phase groups that we can choose from. The most important part about manual control phase groups is picking compatible phases that can run together. If we pick conflicting phases, the monitor will trip and we'll go to flash. So we have to make sure that we pick phases that can run together in each of our phase groups or any phase group that we want to use. So this is an 8-phase quad, so we're going to set up the first manual control group for phase 2 in ring 1, phase 6 in ring 2, and we can have a phase in each ring that has been defined. So we can go all the way up to 16 rings. We will simply go over to group 2, and in this case we'll pick 4 and 8. So what we'll do is we can apply these inputs and toggle between Main Street and Side Street. The next step will define an input for each of these manual control phase groups, and we have 2 of them. So we're going to go to cabinet configuration input points, and we could pick logical inputs in the user logic, but let's do physical ones first. So we'll pick manual control phase group on pin 9, and then we'll go to pin 11, and we will pick manual controls group 2. So when we click on input pin 9, we're going to go to 2 and 6. When we click on input pin 11, we're going to go to 4 and 8. And we could set this up with switches in the cabinet or other things, but basically when an input's on, we shut down the running phase and we go to the hold phase. So now we need to do a little setup, right? So we're going to go and we're going to look at our unit phase status, make sure we're cycling, we're running phases, the countdown timers are running. Notice that I have recall set. I did that under phase options, so I wanted to make sure that we're cycling sequentially. So I have min recall applied to phases 1 through 8. And what I want to do is have demand and then override that demand with the phase groups. So we'll do that. Now we'll go back to our unit phase status. And in a separate window, we're going to bring up the the inputs and output screen. I'll find it here. There it is. Set it on top. So I got my inputs down below here, input module 1, and I had put in pin 9 for first group, which is 2 and 6. Now we need to do a little testing. So I'm going to come down here to my input screen, and I want to check an input. So I want to pick 11, hit apply. Oop, I hit the wrong one. Now it's 13. I need to hit 11. So let's go down here, correct that. 13 is going to not do anything. So, okay, now we hit 11. We're in 2 and 6. Our input's true, so we're going to skip 3 and 7, go to 4 and 8. We're now in 4 and 8. It's going to hold as long as that input's true. If I uncheck it, it releases and it starts cycling forward in our min recall state. Now I'm going to try manual control group 1, which is 2 and 6. But in this case, I'm going to wait until it gets to 3 and 7 and watch it back up to 2 and 6. So we're in 2 and 6 now. Counting down, we'll go to our yellows. We'll go to our greens. We hit apply. You see that the apply is put in. Our input is true. We're shutting down 3 and 7. We're going to 2 and 6. And we hold there as long as the input's true. So if we had an application where we could see video or something in a big long platoon, we could actually shut down a set of phases, turn another set of phases on, and clear a queue manually. One of the real cool ways of doing this type of operation with the manual control phase groups is to do it through a special function. Having it mapped to a special function, I can do it on my tablet. I could also put in some advanced logic if I wanted to. So to do that, I'm going to go back to my input points, and I'm going to remove these manual control phase group actions from my input, so they can't come from here. And I'll send them back to the PED detectors the way they were and hit apply. So then I will simply go down to my user logic, and I will map these to special functions. So I can have it as a single click, or I could put in different logic for ors and nors or else's, if and statements, but real simple, manual control phase group. And I'm going to go to 1, which I have programmed for 2 and 6, and 2 for 4 and 8. And I'm simply just going to set it equal to parameter A, which is special function 1, and special function 2. So I find special function 1 on, make it a 1. Then I go down to the next line. I find the resultant equals A. So in parameter A is going to be special function on. And it's going to be number 2. So it's the second special function. And then I just simply hit apply, and I have it programmed. So now we're going to test it. We're going to go back up to our unit phase status and watch to make sure we're cycling and running the phases. So I guess I didn't see there it goes, my keystrokes. I simply open up the special function screen. I right click and open in a new window, and I'll resize it so that I can see both at the same time. So right now I can, we're in 2 and 6, so I'm going to check special function 1, hit apply, and we're in 3 and 7. It will immediately close down 3 and 7, and it will go to 2 and 6, and it will hold there as long as that input is true. I release it, I hit apply, it starts cycling. And this time we're going to do 4 and 8, and I will wait until it goes by 4 and 8, gets to 1 and 5, and we'll just do the backup thing again. We could wire this up to a rotary switch in the police panel, so each switch could have a different special function or manual control input. We could do it from our tablets or our phone. So a simple check will shut down the running phase, go to the hold phase. We just got to make sure it's like the stop time switch, but we don't have to cycle through. We don't have to do manual control enable. Thank you for watching this tutorial with me. I hope you found this application to be a lot of fun. It's real simple, but very powerful. That's the way MaxTime works. Hope to see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.